And I think that's just a resource issue across the country.
So, given what you've described, in terms of you're in an interesting position with the jobs that you've had, that you've seen and currently see what is happening from a primary care perspective, because that's where people are coming to you from, where they've had their prescriptions, and you've seen it from the secondary care perspective. Do you think that GPs should be allowed to prescribe psychotropic drugs, so antidepressants, benzodiazepines, benzodiazepines, antipsychotics, mood regulators? Do you think they should be allowed to prescribe that?
I think they should be allowed to prescribe, but I think there needs to be, because a lot of the GPs nowadays, and certainly I've seen in the last sort of like 15 to 20 years, GPs coming through, doing their GP training, spending 6 months in mental health, have actually been very engaging in mental health. So they have some understanding, whereas previously I wouldn't be able to say that GPs had, how much GPs knowledge of mental health GPs had, I should say. So if, and I know that some GPs themselves have a specific interest in mental health and mental illness. So I think that you have to sort of like weigh it out. There is always going to be some GPs that pressure of time, pressure of resources, that they're going to need to do something, because again, that's like the public. People want and need something, and if they don't get it in a pill, then they don't believe they're being heard, because that's society. It's a fast-paced society. They have to have something. You've got to give them something. Even if it was a placebo, you tell them that this is going to make them feel great, they've gone away thinking, okay, I have been heard, so I'll take it.
Okay. So
to answer your question.
Yes, great. We have these drugs then,
Mm-hmm.
and as you've said, and as I would agree with you, they are of benefit to some people for some uses, absolutely. So on that basis, what do you think the basis of good prescribing is? And what I mean by that is, do you think good prescribing is about, could be all of these, could be none of them, could be one of them. Do you think it's about symptom identification and diagnosis based on symptom identification and then prescribing a drug for that? Or do you think it's about looking at the problems that someone has, their behaviour, their presentation, which you might call symptoms, not necessarily linked to a particular diagnosis, but prescribing to help with that stuff?
If I'm honest, I think it's having a conversation.
Okay.
And like I say, I know GPs are pushed for time, so hospital appointments and stuff like that, and sometimes those conversations can't have. And I suppose in a way, although we don't have no limited time when we do it, how long our screening is going to take, but we can have conversations. So asking somebody how their mood is today on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being crap and 10 being, yeah, well, feeling pretty okay, and them saying, Mr. 3, and then saying, okay, so what would it be like if you were out in the community or you were at home? Because obviously in custody, people's moods aren't going to drop because of the circumstances. Would it be higher or lower? It's not a trick question. And they said, well, it'd be higher. So why would it be higher? Well, I'd be with my family or my friends. You know, I wouldn't be stuck in here. It's fine, reasonable answer. But then you get others that will say, it'll be lower. Why would it be lower? well, and it'd be the same like in the prison. Well, because I've got a bed, I'm being fed, I've got people that care about me. Whereas when I go through those doors, I haven't got anybody. And I don't know how much people tell their GP, but I don't think the GP sort of like says, you know, they come in, they've got low mood, they're feeling crap, they're feeling, you know, they've got suicidal thoughts. Right, okay, so be on the phone to the crisis team or whatever, but don't have the time to sort of actually, so what is all about this? So it isn't a depression, it's the circumstances that have given them this low mood.
Yeah.
And actually perhaps a little bit of talking or a little bit of maybe an antidepressant might change.
So if I've got you right, from your perspective, good prescribing is about having dialogue.
Yeah.
So having that conversation, formulating a clear understanding about what somebody is saying, getting a context for it is the key. And on that basis, that directs really whether you will, won't, might find medication helpful.
Yeah, I think so. And I do the same for antipsychotics, because obviously, like, you know, we know that people, unfortunately, with schizophrenia are quite negative, and it takes them a while to open up for you to be able to get to, for them to sort of like actually admit that, you know, they're struggling, they are hearing voices that are quite derogatory towards them, and they're having poor sleep, and the voices are telling them not to eat, those kind of things. If you don't have that dialogue, well, this is my personal opinion, if you don't have that kind of like dialogue, it's all very well saying, right, I've come in, I'm not sleeping, I'm having bad dreams, I can't work, I can't function. Okay, so we'll give you some antipsychotics. But it's actually that's not actually getting to the root of the actual problem, because you haven't actually listened to what the problem is, because you haven't been able to have that dialogue. And in hospitals, there is a bit more time that you can, psychiatrists or nurses can actually sit and talk with that person to get a better understanding of what's going on. And it may well be, okay, they've been put on an antipsychotic, actually that's not what they need at all. So we need to change that.
Okay.
But again, like I say, you know, I'm fully aware, I've been in the system quite a long time, it is getting better, and I still think there's a long way to go. But we have moved forward from where we are, that people listening.
Okay. What's your experience of medication being prescribed for the benefit of the professional or the service? Now, that when I say professional service, I mean GP, psychiatrists, mental health nurses. What's your experience of that?
I've seen medication prescribed that I sort of like question, and have questioned, but it's about I think a lot of the time it's like I said to you before, the presentation, the seat that you see before you. Certainly GPs that I know of people going in there demanding and being quite threatening for a specific type of drug. I'm quite happy to say the name, benzos. Big thing with people wanting and demanding to have it. If you're in a surgery, probably on your own, and you've got somebody big leaning over your desk saying, you will give me this, it can be quite intimidating, and you possibly would do it, and I have seen that sometimes in that case it has. And on the ward, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to do this.
Does the opposite happen, where maybe on a ward we give people something, what's the word, preemptively?
To keep them so that they don't kick off.
Staffing's an issue.
Yeah.
It's a volatile inpatient environment.
I mean, I think there have been occasions, as I'm sure you're aware, Tony, you must have seen as well, but you know, where like the chemical kosh, if you like, was used. I don't think it was given